All right, the fifth and final part of this lecture on choosing the shot. So, gone through the methods of why artists work a certain way, the shots we choose. Let's take another look at this Bob McLeod piece, for example. Notice the way the characters relate to each other from panel to panel. So we have these two characters. He's interacting with her. They appear here, right? And we add a third character. This character is a pilot. We go back, we see the other two characters, close up of this character. We differentiate between the characters who look very similar by the details in their costuming. This is a nice close up, and they all go together. So if you look, this seems like a natural flow from panel to panel to panel. And that's what you want to make sure you have. You want to make sure that your panels relate to each other. Okay, that's important. Same thing here. Now, reality-wise, she may not be as close to him or in this particular angle because of where she is here, but that doesn't matter. We don't have to get that scientific. But we have two characters. It's established that they're together. We see, as we pull back, we see the full shot of the room, which is a nice establishing shot. Establishing shot doesn't always have to come first, but these two characters are interacting with each other. We can have a hand shot after we've seen the faces. Can't do this if we didn't see this first because we don't know who's talking. All right, we can see movement. So from panel to panel to panel to panel, the characters move and they interact. And then with this one here, this is a really interesting shot. This is from outside the window looking in at the end of the bed. You can do that too because we've established the bed here. If we didn't have this shot here, we couldn't have this shot here because if we look at this panel, this panel, this panel, this panel, and then this, we wouldn't know what we're looking at. So it is important as a creator that you make sure it's crystal clear to your reader what it is we're looking at, how these two people are interacting, where they're interacting, what's the environment, and then you can be creative with your storytelling. You can keep your pencils clean. You don't have to get crazy detailed in the pencil stage. A lot of people like to save the crazy details for the inking stage. But that takes us to your assignment. You are going to thumbnail 2 to 3 pages of your script. Now, if you don't have a script, don't panic, because over on the class site, there's a section called scripts. So you just click on that, you go down, it'll take you to this page here, and you have 4 scripts to choose from. We've got a comedy script, 2 Batman scripts, and a Tick script. So you can also get an idea of what scripts actually look like. A couple of you have asked if you could see one, and this will give you an opportunity to read an actual comic book script. So you're going to choose 2 to 3 pages from the script or your own script, and you're going to lay them out as a thumbnail. So they look like this, and you may want to do a first draft, a second draft, maybe even a third draft. Really figure these out. I'm going to try something a little bit different this time around. I'm going to actually give you a deadline. All right, so write this down. By Sunday, this week here, by Sunday, I want to see the thumbnails. So you're going to present to me 3 thumbnails. If you want to show me all 3 drafts, or if you have 3 drafts and you want my opinion as to if you went in the right direction, I'd be glad to look at them. But by Sunday, you're going to show me 3 thumbnailed pages. There's a part 2 to the assignment this week, and that's because next week we're on spring break. So yep, guess what? We get another break. Not my doing. That's just the way of the world. Spring break. Which is nice. We finally get through this winter. We can enjoy our beach wear in 6 feet of snow. Once you have gotten your thumbnails to me, I'll either tweak them or I'll approve them. If I approve them, if I think that you can go ahead and go further, then you're going to take them to the full-on pencil stage. You're going to blow up those thumbnails and you're going to turn one of the 3 pages into a full pencil page. And the pencils have to have a level of completion towards this. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you, if you work in a really simplified style, that's fine. But you need to have backgrounds and elements that will make it look complete. And that can mean that if you're drawing in a stick figure system, totally cool, but you're going to have the nicest rendered, body language considered, expression laden stick figure in some kind of environment. You want to keep the environments fairly simple, but if it's taking place inside a house, obviously, we would put something like a picture on the wall. If it's taking place outdoors, maybe we see a tree. So you're going to take all this into account, and you'll figure that out back in the thumbnail stage. So in this stage here, you'll figure out not only how you're going to show the shot, what angle you're going to show, the kind of lighting you're going to show. You're also going to determine the individual panel sizes and the compositions within those panels. Now, I'm not worried about dialogue at this point. If you're using one of the scripts that I'm providing you, there is dialogue in there. So you may want to make space for dialogue, but you don't have to work the dialogue in. If it's your own script and you want to do a silent sequence, that's totally fine too. But you're going to basically establish 3 pages in thumbnail form, get an approval from me, and then take it to the next stage where you're going to do a full-on penciled page. Okay? And that assignment would be due to me by next Tuesday. And what that means is that after that, enjoy your vacation. Take a week off, do whatever you want. If you want to work in your sketchbooks, that's great. If you want to communicate with me, that's great. There's been a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to do a follow-up class that just has nothing but questions. So keep them coming. We'll pile them up and then we'll answer them all at the end. Okay? A few things to ask yourself as you're laying out both your thumbnail and your pencils. Right? This is really important. Number 1, where is the action taking place? What elements can I include to let my reader know where this is happening? Okay? Again, like I said, if it's inside, we're going to see picture frames. If it's outside, we're going to see park benches, trees, brick walls, whatever. 2, is my storytelling clear? Can a reader tell what's going on here without the words? And words do help the picture, so don't worry if the intricacies aren't clear, but we want to be able to know there's at least a person sitting in a room and they're talking to an iguana or whatever, and we can worry about the details of what and why later. But you want to make sure that the reader can at least tell what's going on, where the action's taking place, how the characters are feeling. 3, am I choosing the best, most effective shots to tell this story? Think about that. Again, you don't want it to be generic. You want to push the envelope so that you get a better take on the storytelling, so that you're choosing the right shots. So am I choosing the best, most effective shots to tell this story? Really think about that. And then finally, is my page layout easy to follow? One. If it's just 2 talking heads, like in this example here, you just want to make sure that the characters relate to each other. So as we go from panel to panel to panel, characters stay in the right positions, characters make sense, things move the right way, right? Looking here, character reacting. We see the character with the 2 girls in the first 2 panels. 3rd panel, he's solo, he's moving off on his own. But when he goes through the door in the 4th panel, the 2 girls appear to reiterate that this is the same guy. So little things like that go a long way towards making sure your reader can tell what's going on. Okay? Essentially, make sure the characters relate to each other, the environment works, and you're choosing the best possible shot for the most dramatic effect. Okay? All of this will be up on the blog, and you can review this. It's up on the blog 2 ways. You can watch the videos again, obviously, or you can just scroll through the pictures that are up, and you can read the text, because I wrote a version of this, the same lesson, so you can sit and read it, reread it, and get this through. And push yourself. If you feel frustrated, if you feel like things aren't coming together, break and come back to it. But don't give up. Keep pushing. It's the only way your work is going to get better. You have to try to push yourself to the next level, right? Last, one of the questions that came in was, where do I buy my art supplies? And that's this place here, jetpens.com. I love JetPens. They have all manner of comic book art supplies. They're they mostly sell Japanese supplies. But they're here in America, and it's free shipping after $25, and they're also pretty fast with their shipping. But there's an infinite selection of product. Price-wise, pretty good. Much of what you see here on their site you can buy in Japan at the most random store you possibly imagine. You go into a 7-Eleven and they sell art supplies. But it's broken down by categories and sections, and it's a great site. I use it all the time. In fact, when I don't get a delivered ends, they call to make sure everything's okay. So, all right, that's enough. Keep me informed. Talk to me. I'll see you in the live portion of the class. Remember, no class next week, but that doesn't mean you don't have work to do. So keep at it and keep going.